This is Big Northern Bear. I'm just following up from the video I posted on the weekend where I went through all the details of my 2 nights in the hospital, or well, 1 night and then 1 day in the hospital. So that was Tuesday night I spent in the hospital with those crazy different forms of rhythms, and then half of Wednesday, and then went back Thursday with anaphylactic shock thanks to some of the meds I was on, most notably the antibiotic. So people have been sort of asking, you know, have you been training since? So let's go through what I've done since then. So I'll just bring up my fitness tracker. So Tuesday night I had done a 5-mile run, and it was a couple hours before I ended up having to go to the hospital. So it's a good typical, what I call a long, easy run for me. And by easy, I mean it's slow enough that I feel guilty running that slow. But that's exactly the pace you're supposed to be at for your long, easy runs. So I'd done a 5-mile run, average pace of 12 minutes, 42 seconds a mile, which is exactly where I should be, 1 minute a mile slower than my race pace, which is for me 11 minutes 30 seconds-ish a mile. And in fact, I was on a trail that slows you down a little bit. It was an easy trail, but as you can see, I keep detailed stats on all my run. And even though I was on the long easy, I was actually most of the time in zone 3. I spent most of my time in 120 to 136 beats a minute heart rate. But I didn't feel that way. I felt like I was in zone 2, and that trumps it. So if there's a disagreement between my heart reading and how I feel, I'm going to go with how I feel every single time. So that night I ended up in the hospital. Wednesday, obviously, there was no training done. Then Thursday, the only thing I did was my wife and I took the dogs on a long 20-minute walk, and well, it felt long, but it wasn't. And then Friday, things sort of going back a bit to normal, a bit of dog walk. I did a little test treadmill walk, and then another test treadmill walk. Later in the day, I did another normal walk, and then I thought, what the hell, let's just hop on the treadmill. So I got on the treadmill, I did 1.5 miles, and I did a 13-minute, 25-second pace, which is, you know, very dead easy for me. It's no map because I was indoors on the treadmill. And my goal was just to keep my heart rate below 120 and just to see how I felt after that, because now is not the time to be pushing myself. So I'm more just teaching my heart to be in sinus rhythm. So I'm just trying to keep it below 120. For this workout, I was actually around 100 the whole time, as you can see. And I just wanted to keep it there because at that, I sort of get a practice into working yet staying in sinus rhythm. That's how I always think of it, right? So, and you can see the breakdown. I spent almost the whole time in zone 1 and zone 2, active recovery or endurance. Zone 2, it's really your aerobic, and that's your long easy pace. So that was fine, and that was Friday. However, I felt very weak afterwards, and that pattern repeated Saturday. So Saturday I was feeling stronger. I did a 1-mile treadmill walk, which felt okay, and then I did a 2.78 treadmill run. But I really didn't run the whole time. What I had done actually, as you can see here, is I did 30 minutes of jogging at a nice pace of around the same as the day before, 13.5 minutes a mile, so a nice easy pace. That's about 4.5 miles an hour, so that's really a dead slow jog, very easy. And again, I kept my heart rate nice and low. As you can see, my heart rate average was only 97, so I think that's pretty good. I can be jogging at a 97 heart rate, but you can see I was just really being easy. And if I just look at heart rate alone, you can see my heart rate just staying below 120, and so I wasn't trying to push myself. So when I want to do these long easies, I like to see it below 120 generally. And what I would consider a rehabilitation run, this for me is how that looks. So that's what I wanted to see. But again, I felt really weak for a few hours after, and I actually went and just slept for a couple hours during the day. And then today, I sort of repeated the exercise. So looking at today, I just bring up my heart rate. I did the exact same thing. I did 30 minutes. I had a slightly faster pace. You can see I was at I was mile 1's 13:12 a mile, mile 2 was 12:48, so I picked up the pace a bit. And then I did another half mile, which is why, like, if I break this into half mile splits, you'll see that around the 2.5 mile mark I start to slow down. So 2.5 mile mark. So basically I just did another 30 minutes, and the last 10 minutes I picked up the pace just slightly, and then I did an extended walk. I thought I was really drained after the run yesterday, so maybe I'll benefit from a longer cool down. So I did an extended walk. I did over 21-minute cool down walking, and that I felt much less tired when I was done. So I think I'm getting my strength back. I want to get back to where I can do an hour and a half long run without any trouble. But right now I'm not out to prove anything. The other thing is, while I'm doing this, I'm wearing a Holter monitor. So they have me on a Holter monitor for weeks. So I want them to just have lots of data of me running. So my goal is I return the Holter monitor. I'll actually be returning the Holter monitor Thursday the 18th. So my goal is on either the 15th or the 16th. Well, I guess maybe the 16th or 17th, I want to be able to do a couple of intervals, a couple of 4-minute long intervals. So 2 minutes rest, 4 minutes of pushing it, just to give them that data too, just so they can see that. But I'm not going to risk going back into AFib to do that. So I'm going to really see how sensitive my heart's beating. So that's right now, that's my slow and steady approach to recovery. I feel like the amount of mileage I'm putting on between walking and running, I'm not going to give up any fitness this week. But the same token, my focus is that my workouts are all geared to recovery, not improvement. So now's the time to slow down. So I'm taking that slower, cautious approach. And so that's what I've been doing. So anyway, thank you all for your interest. If you have any questions about, running with AFib, please post them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please share if you know some people who are afraid to exercise, even soon after they've had an AFib episode. If you have your medical clearance, get out there and get started. And my cardiologist, the cardiologist present in ER, told me that my running might have saved my life that night, because my heart kept trying to go back on its own, and that really helped them to get me back in a normal rhythm. So he credited my running and told me to get back to it as soon as I felt comfortable to do so. And so that's what I'm doing. So thanks a lot. Okay, have a good one.